This episode of Brains on Games is all about a card game that reminds me of rock, paper, scissors. Welcome to Brains on Games. I'm Dr. Brian McDonald, and this episode we're going to preview a card game that was sent to me not too long ago by the designers who created Aristotle's Elements and Space. This is a game that can be played with between 3 to 5 players. It plays in about 15 minutes and it's suitable for kids aged 10 and up, although I think younger kids could probably get the hang of it as well. Aristotle's Elements in Space is coming up on Kickstarter soon, and the way this game works is it's a little bit like rock, paper, scissors, like I said at the beginning. Maybe more like rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock from Big Bang Theory. But it's a card game where you're working with the elements that Aristotle theorized made up the natural world. Earth, air, water, fire. In this game, there's also space. Aristotle believed that the heavens were made from ether, and in this game, they call that space. So you can take a look at the cards here, and like I said, it is a game that's a little bit like rock, paper, scissors, where each element can defeat two others and be defeated by two others. So if you've got earth on the table, space and wind can be defeated by earth, but water and fire will defeat that earth card, and so on down the line. So you've got these 5 different cards, each of which has power over 2 and will be defeated by 2. And the way that it works is that the Aristotle card will go to the first player, and really that's meant to break ties and to determine who gets to play the element of surprise, which I will talk about very soon. But each player is going to start with 7 cards. They're all going to play one simultaneously. You say Aristotle as you flip over that card so that everybody sees what you've got, and then you sort of go around the table to figure out which card is going to defeat the others. If you've got 3 players, you might have a situation where the first player plays space, the second plays earth, the third plays water. And you just go across from the Aristotle player and you're looking at just pairs of cards at a time. So in this case, space is defeated by earth. So earth is the card that goes on top, and then it goes down to the next pair. And here you've got water, and water will triumph over earth. So the water card is going to be the winner of that round of the game, and the player who played that card sets that aside for later for scoring. You continue around the board until everyone's played all of their cards, and there are a few other tricky things that add to this game. First of all the players are going to have some of these little tokens. They've got one for each element. There's this one called a black hole, and there's this one called a quark. The quark, if you play it on your card, it's going to lose that round, and the black hole will be the automatic winner no matter what all the other cards are. But most of the tokens are going to be these +1s for a particular element. So if I played a space card, I could put this purple +1 on it, and then you've got a little cheat sheet that shows that's going to beat most of the other cards, unless there's another card that also has a token on it. You don't get to play these tokens right away. You unlock them by stealing one from another player. So while the other player is not looking or is paying attention to something else, you can reach over to their side of the table and grab one of these tokens and try to take it away, unless they touch your hand before you do it. You've got players who are kind of keeping an eye on the other players to make sure nothing gets stolen. They don't want to lose these tokens. They might be trying to steal from somebody else. You're also trying to keep track of which card's going to defeat what. It is quite a visual memory game, for one, because you're trying to remember. Everybody has 7 cards, and you're trying to remember what's been played to determine whether your card is going to be the one that goes around the table and wins. I mean, we've got Aristotle in here. There's not really a lot of information about the philosophers or the Greek scientists who were around Aristotle's time, but you've got that idea that Aristotle had of the 4 elements and then the 5th element of ether, or in this case, space. So it's a simple game Really, it's just about remembering what cards have been played so that you can try and do your best to be the one who wins the most rounds once everybody's cards are done. It only takes about 15 minutes or so, but a few times per game, the player who is Aristotle on a round can choose to play the element of surprise. At the beginning of the game, there's a few of these cards that are drawn at random from a deck. They're face down. Nobody knows what they're going to be, and each player has a chance to, when they're playing as Aristotle, to play the element of surprise. The element of surprise cards have the name of a Greek person, Archimedes in this case, and it's some little trick that adds to the rules. You might have to act out the element that you've played until the round is done. In this case, Archimedes, you have to come up with a fact about the element that you played. So there's a little bit of thinking there and factual knowledge there as well. But this card isn't necessarily going to come up every game. I like this one, the Homer card, where you have to think of a song that's related to the element that you've played. So these just add a little twist to the game and make it a little silly. They might add to the challenge. It might be hard to come up with a song that goes with space, for example. I don't know how many 10-year-olds are going to be able to do that, but that's because I don't know what music 10-year-olds are listening to right now. So I wouldn't be able to come up with a song that 10-year-olds would recognize, but I might be singing Space Oddity by David Bowie, but that just shows my age. And that is Aristotle's Elements and Space in a nutshell. A quick rock, paper, scissors style game where players are trying to remember what cards have been played in order to be the player who wins the most rounds. If you have any questions for me or suggestions for me, as always, you can find me at brian@brainsongames.ca. brainsongames.ca is the website. That's where you'll find previous episodes, and future episodes will go up there too. Brains on Games is the Twitter handle and the Instagram feed and the Facebook page, so we're all over the place. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to be notified of future ones, you can head on over to YouTube and click that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time.